Okay, happy New Year's, Power family. Today is January 5th, 2021, and I am honored to be hosting the very first Power Hitters weekly meeting of this brand new year. Hopefully, everybody's extremely excited to kick this year off right. I'm your host today, Jarrett McAllister, alongside Jonathan Brunasso, as everybody knows him, solar stud in the industry, and the legendary Jim Bunch. If you guys don't know who Jim Bunch is, I don't know where you've been living or under a rock, but no, Google him. He's been running circus with Tony Robbins. Just absolutely crushing it, and our mentor here at Power. So, anyways, just wanted to welcome everybody for coming along. When talking with Brunasso, what was this? A couple months ago, we had the idea of starting a weekly sales training with our team, the Powur Hitters, right? We just wanted to keep everybody focused, on track, keep our goals, and then, iron sharpening iron. And so this week we decided, what a better way to start off the year than talk about mindset and talk about goals, right? Because as just a second ago before we started recording, it's like we have the Power platform and it's amazing. We just had somebody crush 130K in 1 month, but it only works if you work it, right? And there's a saying like, if you get in a boat and you don't have a direction, you can go anywhere. But if you have to know, you have to have a path, right? You have to have direction. You need to lay out a plan. Otherwise, if you don't, you'll just end up wherever you fall. So with that being said, looking forward to this, getting this going. So we're going to start off this week like we do every week by talking about some success stories. Success breeds success. And, it's great it also leaves clues, right, for us to learn how to, whether close another sale or overcome an objection. And it's encouraging. So let's start off here. Does anybody have a success story that they would like to share? Jonathan?
I'll do one real quick, and we'll get one from the audience too.
Okay.
I am big on Facebook community groups. My hometown, Claremont. Someone posted, "Who should I look to for solar?" Multiple people tagged my name. I got 3 leads from that. The person that commented that I haven't talked to yet, but 2 other people I did talk to. One of them signed up, Anju Kapoor. She's the IT director for San Bernardino County, and she lives in Claremont. She signed up after asking me rigorous questions, grinding me on price, really taking up my time, kind of being a little bit annoying, if you know what I mean. And she signed up. Her permit should be approved this week. Her and her husband, once they heard the $1,000 ambassador, let's just say I got 2 referrals in my email right now. I got 2 last week. One of them's a $4 million house in North Claremont. So this just happens so many times. So yeah, little story.
Awesome. Give it up.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
Jarrett, I know you've got a little burning one too to share.
Oh yeah, just a quick one. Starting off the year hot. Yesterday, got started off with, I wanted to check on a customer installation going on that morning. This was sub 30-day glass on the roof.
Woo.
Okay. Coming from last year, we all know we don't need to reiterate, but that is amazing way to start off this year. So sub 30 glass on the roof. And this is for one of my mentees. And then the same mentee, we've been working another deal. It's been over a month. This guy's extremely busy. He's actually the photographer for Rihanna. He's absolutely crushing it. They're building a big old pool in the backyard. They're going to need extra kilowatt hours for the summer. And we sold a 12 kW. He finally, during the call last night, right before Bud's about to hop on, his assistant calls me, and I've been chasing him. And I'm like, oh no, I have to flip up. And I had the Zoom going on my phone. So I switched over. Boom. He's like, you need the social, right? I'm running credit, sending out the docs. So finally closed that one last night. Then went to go hop back on. 500 capacity reached. I can't even get on. I got to call my man Mike, who I know's on the call because he doesn't miss a call. I said, put me on speakerphone so I can hear it. But yeah, no, it was a good day yesterday. So got, install, sale, fired up about the call. We can get into that a little bit later. But yeah, that's my success story right now.
Awesome. Congrats.
Thank you.
Somebody else, jump off mute. Tell us what you're excited about.
Well, I have this financial advisor that says solar is a bad investment. And he claims that you got to replace your system every 10 years, even though most panels come with a 25-year warranty. So I'm not even going to bother with him. I'm just going to close all the people around him, and eventually he's going to cave. So that's kind of my strategy going forward with him. So far, I've got one of his partners I've proposed to. One of his employees, I have to get her bill. And those are the two I'm going after first. So if I close them and they talk about it, and if he's supposed to be a financial advisor, the numbers should be all that concerns him, but apparently he knows more than I do. So
Nice, Val. Keep it up, man. Good work.
I love the strategy of getting all his neighbors, and then making them like, hey, buddy, come on. They can't all be wrong. They can all have access and, to research and Google. They don't think it's going to be 10 years before they have to replace. What's up with that?
A lot of times persistent pays off. Sometimes those big whales that refer a lot of people that just follow up, be persistent. Yeah, you'll get there. One more. Sale, install, got a recruit recently. What's going on out there? Don't be shy, Anthony.
I'm always shy. What are you talking about? I'm very, very shy. Well, you probably talk about Anthony Benil, but don't worry about that. I actually do. We had a recruit. We're really excited about having him come on. He's already had a recruit, so that's even better. They're working through getting the training process going each one. We have an install today for one that we did. It was less than 45 days from contract to now. So in San Antonio, that's amazing. So just let y'all know that is really, really, really cool. And then we have 2 more installs that we'll do this week, and then we'll probably have 4 or 5 sales that we've been trying to set up right now. So we're excited. San Antonio, we're about to blow up. So we're coming for you. We're going to get to that with 91 by the end of the next 6 months, Jonathan. I'm telling you that right now.
Awesome, Anthony. Anthony Blackshear, our Texas mentor, everybody. He is awesome building a team down there. So let's go ahead and keep it going here. Jarrett, thank you so much for that introduction. Bringing the energy, like always, motivation, always well-spoken. So I have the pleasure of introducing someone that's an amazing guy. I've had the honor of hanging out with him at the beach house where they live, and getting to know him and his family, and just seeing what a well-rounded, intelligent, gentleman, business leader, motivational speaker. And the reason really that Powur was founded. I don't think we would be here today if it wasn't for his vision, working with Jonathan Budd, going down to the rainforest. So Jim's going to jump on and let us know about some mindset, setting goals, our 1 to 5 year outlook, some high level business plan ideas that can really set us up for the success this year. And then after that, we're going to drill down into what those monthly and daily and weekly goals look like. So with that, Jim Bunge, I'm honored, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Awesome to be here, and thank you for that introduction. If we can, let's switch to the view where I can see everybody who's on, because as much as I love to stare at myself, it's probably more appropriate that we're face to face here.
There
Awesome.
we go.
There we go. So when Jonathan said, hey, you mind coming on and sharing some of this, I thought about what would make the most impact on each of you. And I guess my first question is how many of you already have clear goals for 2021? Like if I were to ask you, and when I say clear, if I were to ask you right now to share your goals, you would have them in front of you, written down and crystal clear. However you do that, whether it's in your phone or your whatever. So who's got their goals clear right now? All right, so Two of us? Cool. And I'm asking that because one of the rituals that I do at the end of every quarter is I look at what were the wins that I had. And then every end of the year, I look at what were the overall wins. I own multiple companies. And when you start playing at that level, you start to realize that in order to reach the next level, no matter what level you're at, to reach the next level, you have to have a vision of where you're going. And that vision has to be backfilled with goals. So I learned this when I was in my early 20s. As was mentioned, I was fortunate to meet Tony Robbins when I was 23 years old. I went on the road with Tony and I learned a ton. I learned not just the skills of speaking and enrolling and doing all that, but I learned the mindset of changing your beliefs to match whatever goals you set. If you don't have a goal set, then your current belief system is perfect. You have no reason to upgrade your mindset. If, however, you want more out of your life, and let me talk about what more means for a moment. Most people think that the purpose of setting a goal is for what? Go ahead and toss it out. Why do people set goals traditionally?
Give them a mark to achieve.
All right, to achieve something. Good. What else?
Something to motivate them.
Yeah, right. So the moment you have that target, you get motivation, which motivate means to move. So I move from this to that. So it gets us in motion. What else?
Accountability. When you write it down or tell other people, you hold yourself more accountable.
Yeah. For some people that works, right? For some people, having a declaration and saying, these are my goals, these are my intentions. Can you support me in that? Or just the public act of saying, I'm going to hit X amount of people in my business, or I'm going to generate this amount of revenue, or I'm going to buy this home, or I'm going to take this trip, or I'm going to do this for my family. I'm going to put my kids through college, put another $1 million in their fund, or whatever it is. That stated declaration helps hold people accountable. Some of you will form mastermind groups, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm going to ask now a different question because that's pretty standard. Most people set goals because of three things. They want to achieve something that they're be proud of. They want to attain something or acquire something. Achieve, attain, acquire. And all these things move us towards that. So how many of you have set a goal at one time to buy a new car? Anybody set that goal? All right. How many of you have set a goal to buy like a piece of jewelry you wanted, or clothing, or even a home, something like that? All right. So what's important is not just the goal, but the impact the goal has on you. Now think about this for a moment. When you set a goal that caused you to become someone different, in other words, it caused you to evolve into someone else, that is something that will go with you forever. So think about one of your biggest goals that you had to really stretch for. Number one, did you actually reach the goal the way you thought you were going to? In other words, if you set a goal and you laid out a strategy, did it happen the way you thought, or did the universe actually take you a different path to reach that goal? Right? It always, in my experience, happens differently than the way I think it's going to happen. So that should take the how out of the equation. You do not need to know the how. What you need to be is clear on what it is that you want. And then here's a little behind the secret. What I realized in helping literally over 20,000 business owners reach their goals in 55 countries is most people have the purpose of a goal wrong. It's not just to achieve, attain, or acquire. You set that as your target. So every one of you should have clear, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound goals. That's called SMART goal process. But that's the basics of goal setting. If you truly want to transform your life, if you want to become someone different, there's two things you need to understand about goal setting. And ask yourself if this has been true in every single one of your big goals. Number one is how you feel in pursuit of that goal. Not just motivated. Motivate means to move. So did you physically move? Yes. But how did you feel? Did you feel inspired? Did you feel empowered? Did you feel challenged? Did you feel fill in the blank? Go back to the feeling you had, because as human beings, really as soul, as souls having a human experience, one of the things that drives us is how we feel. So creating a goal says, I'm currently here, I want to go to here. That gap in between there is going to cause a certain type of feeling. So if you just had to answer right now, what is the highest vibrational feeling you want to have on a day-to-day basis, what would you put in there? If you're doing it for the feeling, not just the achieve, attain, acquire, what feelings would you want to feel? This is the part where we answer back.
Trying to think of a good word. I get this adrenaline rush when I get the email, the referral, the I'm ready to sign. I live off of that drug. So I want to feel more of that.
And what's one word that would describe that? Does it make you feel empowered? Does it make you feel hopeful? Does it make you feel?
It makes me feel on top of the world. I start jumping up and down in my place here.
All right. So you've anchored yourself to that feeling. I would encourage you to start to look and say, what is the actual flavor of this feeling? There's a vibrational frequency to every one of our feelings. How many of you know the difference between inspired and angry? Most of us know the difference, right? Do you realize you're vibrating at that frequency? So when you get that external thing like, ooh, a client just called, or wow, I just had a lead or a win come in. What immediately happens is your brain says, oh, now I have permission to be inspired, excited, motivated, fulfilled, whatever your feeling is. So number one with goals is you are actually wanting a feeling, right? Now, what's crazy is you can have that feeling before you even reach the goal. How many of you recognize that the moment you tell yourself something, you end up changing your feeling? I can give you an example. I used to think love was something that I had because of my wife. And then I realized one time when I was actually planning surprises for her, right? You remember when you're dating somebody and you're in that early stage and you're doing like whatever it is, your surprise, you're planning a massage or a getaway or even just a card or something like that. When do you feel love? They don't even know what's going on. You're feeling it while you're in pursuit of that end result, in pursuit of that goal of the card or the event or that moment. But you're feeling that prior to the event. Goals work the same way. Now, I'm giving you this big understanding of goals so that you look and ask yourself this question. Is the goal worth trading my life for? Not am I worthy of the goal, but is the goal that I'm choosing to pursue worth trading my life for? Because you are. You are investing time and energy and resource in pursuit of every goal you set. So if that goal is not worthy of trading your life for, you have to redesign your goal. And one of the key factors is, how do I feel in pursuit of this goal? If you feel inspired, powerful, connected, proud, whatever it is, in pursuit of the goal, you've probably nailed the right goal. So how do you feel when you've set a goal that's to double your income, to build a team to XYZ, right? To be on stage and be recognized as somebody who made $100,000 this month in Powur? How do you feel? That's what you're pursuing. So design your goals based on that. I have goals in my personal life and I have goals in my business life. Every one of them, I have a feeling attached to it, right? So that's number one reason why we set goals. Number two, and this is the one that most people don't get until they get a little older and they get a little wisdom behind them. But think back to the goals that you have achieved that stretched you and challenged you. How many of those goals did you have to change the way that you think, feel, or act in order to reach that goal? In hindsight, can you look back and go, wow, I didn't know how to buy that house. I didn't know how to onboard new people in its business. I didn't know, right? Training for a marathon, right? So before you knew how to do that, right? You had no consciousness about marathons, but all of a sudden you're like, you had to learn how to eat, how to exercise, how to repair and recover, right? So as a result, here's the second key thing. It's not just the pursuit of the goal and how you feel. It's not the attainment, the achievement, or the acquisition of the goal that's important. It's actually the evolution of you. The evolution of you. How did you have to change your belief system? Right? And I'm going to give you an example. for many years, when I was a young boy, I worked at a tennis club to get money. Right, I was 16 at my first job. My first job, actually, I was 12. I worked for my dad in electrical, digging ditches and in the Florida heat and pulling wire. I got all the grunt work, right? But I was happy because I was making $8 to $10 an hour, and my friends were not making any money. And I was literally digging 10-foot ditches, 30, 40 feet, so that they could lay wire in new construction. So I grew up in the construction industry. My parents didn't have a lot of money. So one of the things that I realized is that I was driven at a very young age. Well, one of the goals that I had, which seemed completely unattainable, unachievable, but I still wanted it, was a Porsche. I was 16 years old working at a country club, and one of the doctors that used to pay me to beat him in tennis on the tennis court had a black Porsche. And he was cool enough to let me take a ride in it one time and even let me photograph me next to his car as if it was my own. I carried that picture with me for years. It was a 944 black Porsche. And I thought that was the coolest thing on the planet. I thought you had made it when you had that. Fast forward years later, I'm 26 years old. So 10 years later. And for the first time, I had moved from a bomb shelter to a beach house in 90 days, when I learned the principles of setting goals, and I learned the principles of the spiritual laws of the universe, how this universe works on a physical level. All right. So I set these goals, I set the intention, and with 90 days, I went from living in a bomb shelter to a beach house. 90 days later, I'm dating this girl, Lori, not my wife now, but this girl, Lori, and we go to the Porsche dealership one day, probably trying to impress her. I had no intentions of buying that Porsche, but I've been thinking about this for a decade. I walk into the showroom floor. On the showroom floor, they've got a black convertible 911, beautiful car, hand-stitched gray leather interior, carbon fiber everywhere, gorgeous car. The only reason it was on the showroom floor is because one of the pro athletes did not go to the World Series. And so he had ordered the car custom made, but didn't buy it because they didn't go to the World Series. They missed it. So long story short, the sales guy comes over, and I'm thinking to myself, I can't afford this car. There's no way I can afford this car right now. I just started making money. He goes, let's take this for a ride. You won't know until you experience it. So he pulls it off the showroom floor. I get in the driver's seat. My girlfriend, Lori, gets in the front seat. He's crammed into the little 2 seats in the back. And we drop the top. We hit the I-5 freeway, and we're on the freeway. And there's a gap between me and one of the other cars that's probably big enough for maybe a car and a half length. We're doing about 60 miles an hour, somewhere around there. And he can tell that I want to shoot the gap, but I got him in the back. It's a test drive. He taps me on the shoulder. He leans forward, the wind's blowing. He taps me on the shoulder and he goes, it's not if you can, it's if you want to. It's not if you can, it's if you want to. And at that moment, I made the decision to shoot the gap. We pulled off, we pulled up to the thing, and I said, I'll take it. Let's figure it out. Let's figure out how to make this happen. It was $1,411 per month. I had just started making 10 grand a month. There's no way I should have been spending that. In hindsight, it's better things I could have done with my money. But that pursuit of that goal changed my reality, and the universe delivered a belief system that I needed to upgrade. Because in the past, I used to look at what I had and try to figure out what I could do. But from that moment forward, I realized if I set my intention on what I want, the universe will deliver the how. 2 hours later, I drove out with that Porsche, and it was one of the coolest experiences of my life. After that, my business continued to grow exponentially over the next 12 months because I changed from looking at what I had to looking at what I desired. And the moment I set my intentions, I realized that it didn't matter how big my goals were. The formula for reaching them was the same. Get crystal clear on what I desired. How did I want to feel and pursue that goal? Did it inspire me? Did it motivate me? Did it make me feel more whatever? Fill in the blank. And then what Jonathan's going to take you through is back into the numbers, right? If it's a financial goal, for example, get crystal clear on what it's going to take. The universe will provide things you didn't expect, I promise you. But if you're looking to make 100K a year or 100K a month in this company, there's a simple formula to help you break it down and go, okay, if I present the solar presentation to 3 to 5 people a day, for example, or 1 a day or 1 a week, whatever your goals are, I will likely hit my goals and I will likely change who I am. I will evolve my thinking and I'll evolve my reality. So remember, the purpose of the goal is not just to achieve, attain, acquire. The purpose of a goal is, number one, to create a feeling in you every day. Identify how you want to feel every day in pursuit of those goals. And number two, to evolve you, which means the way you think, how you feel, and the actions you take. Because 12 months from now, you're going to be somewhere in your life. It might as well be somewhere that you chose to be a bigger version of you. So that's my little dissertation on the behind the secrets of goals that most people just don't know because they do, SMART goals. Jonathan, is that what you wanted?
Yeah. Thank you, Jim. Wow. I'm beyond motivated and got little chills at the end, and just thinking of everything you mentioned, thinking back on my own challenges and goals, and you're so on point with the feelings and the emotions and the growth. I think we all probably thought of something in our lives that we went through, just like you were saying. So yeah.
So let's do, I got a couple more minutes here if you want. Share some of the goals that some of you have and how that makes you feel, just so we get the right framework here. Somebody share one goal and what's the feeling you're in pursuit of with that goal.
I want to make $1 million this year.
All right. And so what's the feeling that the pursuit of that goal will give you?
That I am in line with my path, that I'm vibrating at the right frequency, and that I'm just doing the right thing. I'm following, my path.
All right. So following your path, would that be tied into your purpose?
Yes, purpose. But it really comes down to my why, and it's my family, and it's providing for my family. I have big goals to provide an extraordinary life for my 3 girls and my wife. And that's my why. That's the driving force behind it. And if I know if I'm doing the right things with the platform, there's nothing that can stop me from achieving that goal. So.
All right. So let's drill one little bit deeper here, Jarrett. So you said doing this because it's on my path, my purpose, provide for my family, my girls. What is the feeling you have when you are providing for family, you're on path, you're crushing your goals? What's the feeling that gives you? What is it? What are you saying about you?
Pride.
I want to feel proud.
Yes.
Right? Right. Cool. What are other feelings that might come along with those achievements? You'll feel proud. What else?
Successful. I'll feel that I'll inspire others. I'll be lifting other people up along the way. And no regrets, right? Leaving it all on the table.
All right. So does everybody hear the internal and the external part of what he said? So the moment when you're talking about how you're going to feel, I'm going to feel proud because I was a good dad. I was a great husband. I was a fill in the blank, right? You own that internally. The moment you go to helping others, that's an external thing, but there's still an internal piece to that. What motivates all of us, and this is important for everybody to understand, is you have to get to the core of what's authentic to you. Everything that we're doing, like I donate to charity, I invest time, I come onto these calls. Why am I doing that? Because in some way, shape, or form, the benefit to me is fill in the blank, right? When you can tap into your internal wiring, when you know what it is that inspires you. I had a mentor who shared this with me, and he said, you cannot answer this question for the first 6 months. Your mind's going to want to create it, but it's a Zen question. Don't answer this immediately. I want you to think about this over the next 6 months. And I did. For almost a year, I thought about this. He said, I want you to answer one question. What is it about me that inspires me? Now, think about that. What is it about me that inspires me? That kind of question turns you internal to get to that fire, to get to that spiritual DNA that lights you up. And when you know that formula, you're unstoppable. Nothing gets in the way. It's not external, it's all internal. And Jarrett, I feel like you're right there. You're right at that, understanding what inspires or motivates you.
Thank you, Jim.
I got another one.
Okay.
this is kind of along the lines of your 9/11, Jim. I'm a pilot, and since I was 17, I've had my pilot's license. I've always regretted kind of getting out of flying, and it was a wonderful hobby that I had that's also useful in business as well. But my goal for this year is to not just to get back into flying, but actually buy a plane.
Dude, I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
I
So,
already scheduled my FAA check ride because I have to get checked out again because it's been a few years. So, but I'm so excited about it.
there you go. Everybody hear the word? What was the feeling?
Excited.
Excited.
Yeah.
Very cool. And flying gives you some kind of feeling, right? So this is what I'm going to encourage all of you to do. And I know I got to turn it back to JB here so he can rock you down into the specifics of this, but tap into that feeling, tap into something that's going to evolve you, tap into something that's going to challenge you or whatever your word is, and then align your strategy to achieve that with power. It's really simple, right? So power's an amazing vehicle. You talk about planes and cars, right? This is a vehicle that you can drive at 5 miles an hour or 500 miles an hour or 5,000 eventually. It just depends on how big your goals are. And once you have big enough goals that truly inspire and excite you, you will become a magnet to helping other people do the same. So hope this was valuable. You guys have an awesome day. And
I have a quick question before you.
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question? Hey, how would you deal with a negative feeling, like fear of failure or any of those things?
That's a longer conversation. It's something we just went through in our 9-week live, but you can literally reprogram your relationship with fear and it's a little bit longer process. But just recognize that fear, here's the way that I personally deal with fear, is I look at it and I ask, number one, is this a valid fear? Meaning, is my life in danger at this moment? Everything else is not actually fear. All right. And how many of you have ever been in a life and death situation and realized you actually don't feel fear? Time slows down and you become extremely present and there is no fear. Has anybody been in that? Car crash, airplane dive, anything? Right? You actually recognize you don't feel fear when you're in the moment. So fear is something that is basically the mind. Here's my second piece, the mind asking, how do I accomplish this? So if I set a goal and I'm feeling fear, what I've interpreted that as, oh, that's my mind asking for support in achieving this. So I now have a conversation with my mind and go, oh, you're afraid of what? Oh, I'm afraid of looking bad. Oh, okay. Well, I'm only going to look bad if I what? Don't practice, prepare, rehearse. Cool. Got that. I'm only going to look bad if I only do the solar presentation one time. Cool. I'm going to do it 100 times. I'm not going to feel fear anymore. What else do you want to know, mind? So you can have a conversation with the side of you that's generating the fear. And it's typically something that the mind is saying, hey, I'm trying to protect you. That's the job of the mind, is to protect you. So cool. What are you protecting me from? Oh, from looking bad, from going bankrupt, or from whatever. Oh, okay. Can I deal with those situations? Yeah. Is there a strategy to remedy that? Yeah, cool. Anything else, mind? Nope. You get it? Cool. All right, you guys, rock and roll, drill down. Sorry, take a little extra time there. I hope it was valuable.
Thank you, Jim.
No,
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, guys, game on.
thank you so much, Jim. And if there's one thing we can do to help Jim out is the national convention, February 19th and 20th. Make sure to check that website. We'll talk on that in just 1 second. So, all right, let me go ahead and share my screen. We just got a few more slides to cover. We'll write down a few goals. Man, Jarrett, what did you think about that? That was awesome.
I thought a lot about it, man. I mean, how lucky and blessed are we just to have Jim Bunch to be part of our crew and our team, to kind of lead our charge for inspiration and motivation and goals. And I mean, self-development, all that stuff. We're in the right place at the right time. But everything that he said just rings so true. I love when you kind of get into the nuance. It's like you can, set a goal, want to make $1 million, but when he talks about the feeling that you feel inside and capturing that feeling, it like I said, it gets into the nuance of these goals and provides a lot of value. It's really incredible.
Yeah, great stuff. So just got a couple slides left, guys. one thing I wanted to touch on is kind of our business plan. And I want you to think of these questions here, maybe jot a few ideas down or share one. But let's just start it off. What do I want to achieve in my business in 1 year? And, you know, there's going to be feelings with these items as well, but is that a income goal? Is it becoming a mentor? Is it closing a certain number of sales? So what do you want to achieve in 1 year for your business? Anyone want to shout one out real quick? Jarrett already said $1 million, right? Let's check the chat box.
A minimum of 60 transactions and 24 consultants in the next 12 months.
Woo! Hell yeah.
Love it.
Isela wants to become a mentor.
That's a great goal.
Heck yeah.
I think you can do that before a year though.
Oh yeah. And then she said 50 installs. So she's
Yeah, she'll be there.
Anybody else? Anthony Blackshear, you said one earlier, right? I forget what you said. Number of installs.
Yeah. Well, so ours is a little bit loftier. So I'm just gonna go off Jarrett and tell Jarrett it's gonna be $1,001, and we'll just leave it at that. So it's gonna be $1,001. So our goal is to do 100 installs in 2021. So through our team and through ourselves, 65 personal and 35 either mentor transactions that goes on.
Awesome.
The numbers that we put together.
All right. And then how will I know if I am making progress? I mean, kind of self-explanatory, right? How do you track your sales, Jarrett, or your income? Do you keep a spreadsheet or something?
I just know if as long as my debit card keeps working, the second it's declined, my goals are not being achieved. No, you know, honestly, I think it goes back to feeling. If I'm not achieving my goals, I start stressing. I start feeling it. It starts burying me, right? I start feeling guilty. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So how do I know I'm making progress? I'm feeling the opposite of those feelings. I'm feeling proud. I'm feeling like I'm achieving something. I'm making headway. I'm in my path. So that's how I know I'm making progress. And then obviously you can see the statistics, right? You can watch your bank account grow. You can see the number of installs. You're getting referrals. That's one way. You can do it the JB way. You can track everything on a spreadsheet.
Yeah, I'll just show you, you know, the dates that I sell deals, the name, when I receive the M1 payments, and then the green up top is when I receive the M2 payments. So you can see, I don't know, about 200 different jobs here. So I like to write down the name, track the M1, M2, and then the total amounts made. And I even track my income, you know, depending on which month it is, I'll track how much I'm averaging right now. So little tricks that I'd like to do to track it. Anyone have a big pain right now in their business, something they're struggling with, they're beating themselves up, they're kind of waking up, not sure what they're going to do? You've had some cancels, some credit declines.
I mean, this is unrelated to Powur, but my cleaning business has been a little slow past month, but you know, it only makes sense. Holidays, some rains, but looking to try out a Facebook ad in the next couple weeks here. So yeah.
Doesn't the rain just wash it away and clean it for you?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. You know, it's like kind of like, you know, it details your car too.
Yeah, it's like people don't go wash their cars when it's rainy season, right? Or not?
I mean, I don't know, it depends.
I got you. I'm sure it'll pick up here soon, Val.
And then what is going really well for me in my business right now? Maybe someone's recruiting really well or getting a lot of referrals, using the ambassador program really well. Anyone want to jump in? Lily, Reggie? What's going on?
I just recently started taking advantage of the ambassador program, and it's helped my business quite a bit. The referrals that are coming from them are, I mean, they're awesome. I mean, they're so easy to deal with, you know, when you come highly recommended by somebody. So I'm really going to push the ambassador program. That's one of the things that I'm going to work on this year.
Nice. All right, guys. So this will be kind of where we write down a few numbers, income goal sheet. So I'd like you all to maybe just write down on your phone, notepad, pen, paper, what your dollar goal is annually. Maybe it's 50, 100, 250, or 500. So, and then go ahead and divide that by 12. So if it's 100 grand divided by 12, it'd be $8,300 per month. And then per install, maybe you know an average that you tend to make. Some installs are with a mentee or a mentor. So it's 50-50. Some are on your own. So it's a little bit more money probably. So maybe that number is 4 grand if you want to be conservative, or 6 grand if you're Jarrett. Or probably more like 9 grand, huh, Jarrett?
On the splits.
All right. Someone throw out an income goal this year. What's a number that they're shooting for to make with Powur? Text it, chat it. Love it. 200K. That is an awesome amount to make. All right, guys. So what I did, you know, an example is 100K annually, $8,300 per month. So me, I do individual deals, mentor deals. I don't go high on the margins. So I put $3,800. So if I'm trying to make 100 grand or $8,300 a month, I need about 2.2 installs a month, or 26 installs per year. So if you divide your average making per deal by your annual goal, you'll know how many installs approximately you'll need per year. And so this will just be installations. We're not going to look at like passive revenue sharing team building right now. So if you want to make 100 grand, it's just 2.2 installs a month. But you know, that's not much. 26 installs per year. So for the 200 grand, Hamdi, I'm not sure what average per deal you used, maybe $4,000. So you probably got something around 50 installations per year, or just a little over 4 installs per month. That's it.
Which once again, that's not very much.
Yeah.
That's part-time work.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just doing numbers on my lofty goal of $1 million. If I was to do it in sales, if I was to, $1 million divided by 12 months is $83,333. It's probably a few cents more for Anthony because he's got that $1 extra.
Yeah.
Yeah, 42 cents. It was 42 cents.
Okay. But with that being said, you know, if I average about 8 grand a deal, that's going to take about 10 installs per month. Averaging 8 grand a deal is a lot. I mean, you know, you're selling at a high level. So it's good. Now, can you do 10 installs per month? Absolutely. I think that's, what do you average, Jonathan, as far as installs per month? Or how many did you do last year?
Man, I don't have that number in front of me. And I did quit Sunrun in May to go to Powur full time. So it's a little all over the place. And then, you know, the revenue share as well can be very lucrative for some people.
Correct. And that's what I'm saying. If you just focused on your own sales, like just getting it that way, the rest is going to fall into place. It's going to be massive amounts of icing on that cake. But I think if you know, a 10 installs per month goal,
Yeah.
pretty close.
And keep in mind too, for some newer people here, maybe it's your first year, solar is an ongoing business. It takes 3, 4, 5 months just to get ramped up, just to get your first commissions. So don't let that be a hinder to you. Keep pushing, because the second and third year, guys, it just gets easier. People know you. Then you have ambassadors. Now they're referring you. Those leads you talked to last year in the summer that are holding off, guess what? They're going to hit you up this year. So don't ever give up. This business just gets easier if you keep your head down and you keep working. So let's keep going here. 26 installs for that 100 grand, very conservative. I like to say throw in 2 or 3 extra contracts, because there will be a job or two that cancels. The roof won't qualify, the homeowner gets cold feet. So even very conservatively, I just put 30 contracts. So then you can think, what's your close rate? Do you close 30%, 35%, 40% of your proposal presented? So 35% is a pretty average number, part leads, part referrals. So if you have 30 contracts needed, or, you know, Hamdi, maybe yours is 55, and you're at a 35% close rate, I want you guys to divide the number of contracts you need divided by your close rate, 0.35. So for this person, they'll need to present 86 proposals where they actually sit on the Zoom in person and listen to the conversation. So again, add a few extra contracts, 5, 10, 15% that might not make it. Get the total contracts you need for the year, and then go ahead and divide that number by your close rate. That'll tell you the number of proposals you need to present. And look at this 100 grand person. 86 proposals presented that sits is only 7 a month. 7 a month. That's just
not even 2 a week.
Yeah, it's not even 2 a week that you just present to. Now, some appointments don't sit, they don't show up, and they might flake. You know, if you're doing more lead gen online, you're going to get more of this. So if 80% of your leads don't sit, that means you have to add a little extra appointments. So if 80% do sit, you can take the number of proposal presented that you need, divide that by the number that will sit on the appointment. So I need 86 proposal presented, divide that by 0.8. I need 108 appointments in 1 year, which is about 9 per month. 7 of those actually sit. 85% of those make it to installation, you know. So I think when you can bring down your goals to a weekly and monthly target, you just need 7 proposals to sit per month to make over 100 grand. We're not talking team building, revenue sharing, nothing. Any questions on this? So I just wanted to really break it down for you guys, how much you want to make, what you average per install, and show you that to make over 100 grand, just need to try to get 9 appointments and do 7 presentations per month here.
And I just like to throw out one other thing, is that it really comes down to mindset, you guys. I've been hiring and training sales reps for half my life, and it really, it's crazy that people put a cap in their mind about how much money they can make. And it's like they believe that they're only worth so much. If you've never made more than $30,000 in a year, it's hard to even imagine making 50, right? Or even 70. I mean, to go from 30,000 to 100,000, you're like, I don't even know if I'm worthy of that. You really have to break through though mentally and believe that you're worth it, because you are worth it, right? And you have to believe that you're worth it. It's all about your belief factor. Set lofty goals, audacious goals, and strive for them. But yeah, there is a point of breaking through with the belief system of actually achieving these high numbers. This is not hard to do. You just saw 2 sales a month and you're getting 100K. That's you can trip and fall into that. You're not even working. You're literally not even working for that. But for the person that's never made 100K before, they'll find a way to not do 2 sales a month, because that would make them earning 100K, and now they don't believe that they can do it. So really just getting that belief mindset, that positive mindset, and just believe in yourself.
Absolutely. And the feelings that come along with that. What can that income do for you, for your family, for your kids, for your freedom, getting some notoriety? What are those feelings associated with that? Like Jim said, I never thought I could make this kind of money, guys. In all honesty, like 2 years ago, I thought I made the most I could make. Last year, I more than doubled that. And it's just insane what you can do. So your income, of course, can come from personal sales. Once you become a mentor, do 5 sales on your own, pass the test. That's where it starts getting really interesting, because anyone under you is going to use you for their first deals, for you to close those mentor deals. Plus, you're going to continue to do personal sales. And then, of course, you're also going to override and have some passive income off of all those sales as well. So one of the last things here, marketing plan. I'd love for you to write down 2 or 3 or 4 of these things that you're going to plan on doing this year. So maybe your follow-up. How often are you going to follow up with any old leads or people that showed interest? Are you going to do a monthly follow-up? Do you have a calendar system, a CRM, a reminder tool? Are you going to send out a monthly email to your leads, to your installed clients, reminding them of the ambassador program? Personal phone calls, personal text messages. Can you commit to calling 5 friends per day and seeing how they're doing, how their business is doing, how's COVID doing, and talking about solar? The ambassadors, how many ambassadors do you guys want this year? I mean, I want over 120. I think I can do 10 per month is a very reasonable goal. Some people do door knocking. You're going to commit to doing some Facebook ads for the first time this year. A lot of you are really good on posting on social media. Isela, Anthony Bonilla, a lot of you guys, Lily, you're always posting great content. Even if it's someone else's installation, steal my content. I don't care. Anthony, I'm sure is gracious too. Like, post some installs, another great installation from the team. People will see that. They'll see your success. Like, whoa, damn, this guy has posted an install every week this month. And they're going to mentally think, man, he's the guy that I need to talk to. And you don't have to lie. It's our team. You all know that I'm big on networking. Your network is your net worth, right? So grinding it out for BNI for a year or 2, joining a team, joining a chamber of commerce, being on social media, adding everybody, putting it all together. And then, of course, recruiting others to Powur. That's where the true magic comes, level 2, level 3. And then setting goals with action items and due dates. So an example of that would be 3 days per week for 90 minutes per day. I'm going to do lead gen. I'm going to commit to calling X number of people 3 days per week for 90 minutes. So coming up with that action item and staying committed and holding yourself accountable to it. How many calls and conversations per day does that look like? And just what other activities are you going to put on the calendar that you're going to commit to for this year? Something you've been thinking about. I really wanted to try that Facebook ad. I really wanted to look into that BNI, just never got around to it. So I'd love to challenge you all to think of those 2 or 3 things that you want to commit to this year, write them down. And that'll all help us to achieve our income goals and achieve those feelings that Jim mentioned earlier. All right, Jarrett, you want to cover some announcements here?
Yeah, so kind of we're wrapping this up. I know it's been about an hour. We want to respect everybody's time. But as you all know, flipping amazing tax credit extended 26 through the end of 2022. So that is incredible for all those that were on the fence, you know, last year and worried about it dropping down this year. You can let them know, you know, they still have an opportunity to take advantage of that tax credit. But that's such a blessing for us in our industry that really, you know, helps us out, because as the tax credit goes down, where's that money coming from? It's probably going to come from the sales rep. I mean, a little bit from everybody, but a chunk of it is going to come from us. So that is incredible. So really, really promote that, you guys. If you haven't already, sign up for the national convention that Bud is putting on February 19th and the 20th. You guys just got a free little snippet from Jim Bunch of what, you know, this is going to be like. This is going to be 2 days jam-packed of absolute breakthroughs for you personally, financially, for your growing your team. You know, I've always believed about growing your team and your business through events. This is going to be world-class, something that you've never experienced before. The way they have it set up with like 100 different screens, 360. I mean, they've invested millions of dollars into this training studio. So be a part of that. If you haven't jumped on board, get on there, join the VIP. It's practically free. I mean, for anybody that sells solar, it's like $99 or $199 for VIP. That's no doubt. So get on that. And then, oh yeah, and in order, if you haven't signed up already, go to scaleup.solar. So scaleup.solar, just pop that into your browser and it'll pop right up. And then the next 4 weeks are scheduled. So next week, we're going to have the one, the only Paul Leon, who's an absolute stud. Most of you guys know him, but he's going to be talking about pipeline. And I know that pipeline, that's something I struggle with. You know, following up, you got all your deals, your sales, different parts, different, you know, timelines of the sale. And he's going to show you a way to manage that effectively, to stay on top of all your deals. That way you don't have anything that's falling out. Week after that, Enphase is going to be coming through, talking about their inverters. So we're going to be doing some training on the Enphase inverters. Week after that, TBA. So we are open for suggestions. If anybody has a topic that they would like to talk about, reach out to Jonathan or myself and we will consider it. But then the following week, we have Sonova coming in talking about financing. So make sure to not miss any of these trainings, you know, every Tuesday at 10 a.m. But other than that, Jonathan, you want to open it up for a little Q&A before we wrap this up?
Yeah, one last thing before Q&A, we'll end this recording. I'm excited about this. Monday, January 11th, this upcoming Monday, Marisa, who is a badass real estate agent, and she's jumped on to Powur and closed, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 deals. And Bobby Rye, another awesome real estate agent who's jumped on to Powur. He's closed 12 to 15 deals in under 6 months. These are real estate agents that have taken Powur and just ran with it. And I freaking love everything they're doing and how successful they are adding income to their business. So this Monday on the business opportunity Zoom at 5 o'clock, guys, build into this business opportunity. anyone in the real estate industry that can benefit. They're going to hear firsthand from realtors that have made tons of income. So again, another tool in your tool belt, any realtor you know that can invite real estate agents, this is going to be an insane value to showcase how this platform can benefit real estate agents. So, and again, all the pretty faces, mentors that we have on this wonderful team. I think there's over 16, 17. So tons of value that everybody provides here. And with that, I will just go ahead and end this recording. And we can open it up to Q&A.
Awesome.